Hello everyone. Welcome back to the OWC World Cup 2022. Plenty more round of 16 coming at you. The next one we have here on this stream is going to be a losers bracket matchup between the Czech Republic and Taiwan. A fully rebuilt Czech Republic team going up against one of the greats of OWC, looking to stay in the tournament at this stage. I'm Doomsday and I'm joined by Kano. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's great to be casting alongside you as always, Dooms. And yeah, we've got a match ahead of us, that's for sure. Czech Republic and Taiwan. These two teams are pretty interesting, actually. You know, you've got quite a well-rounded roster across both of them. I'd have to say that there's definitely some strengths and weaknesses on each side. But it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams do pull out for us today. I mean, especially after coming back from last match that we just had, that was an absolute banger of a match, Dooms.
That outmatch was something else. That was something else. I was only able to catch the VOD, to be honest, because I wasn't able to catch it live, but goodness me. If you get anything like that, then we've got something really special. But we'll see. We'll see. I think this one is maybe a little bit more of a tough ask for the Czech Republic here, because, let's not pull any punches here. Taiwan are incredibly strong, and the fact that they're in the losers bracket here is quite a shock. Look at that lineup they have. The OG Taiwan crew are all here pretty much, but they're fighting for their lives at round of 16. This is a rarity for these guys, and they will not want to go out this early. That is for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the old names coming back from Taiwan, and as mentioned, you know, they've been a force to be reckoned with for many, many years, and it is quite a surprise to see them, you know, drop down into the losers bracket here. But, I mean, when it comes to Czech Republic, you know, they've had a bit of a roster switch up here and there, and, you know, a few players who we've seen throughout community tournaments and such, you know, putting up solid results. So it's safe to say that, you know, there's a high chance that they might be able to pick to some very specific skill sets and take a few points away, if not take the match. But when it comes to Taiwan, it definitely looks like they have like a bit of an edge when it comes to double time, specifically when comparing the results from last week. We definitely saw that all the double times had been played by both of these teams, and Taiwan definitely put up some pretty solid results in comparison. So definitely expecting perhaps maybe double time bans coming out from the Czech Republic, and most likely double time picks coming in from Taiwan. When it comes to the other bans, not entirely sure what Taiwan opts for, just perhaps anything that they're not too confident on. And when it comes to Czech Republic, I definitely have to say that they're going to go for, you know, something a little bit more niche, maybe something a little bit more straightforward and conventional. But we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I think the Czech Republic's strengths are going to be on more of those, you know, mechanics picks, you know, your aim maps, your possibly the stream map in No Mod 2, but that is quite tricky with all the velocity changes in it. But the Czech Republic's strengths are definitely in their mechanics, right? They've got some pretty beefy aim players and particular players on their particular mod picks. Taiwan are going to be looking to abuse the speed. That, no doubt about that. There's a clear gulf in the speed rosters of these two, and this pool, with more speed in it, there's going to be more room to flex that. The rolls coming in, so big numbers.
Yeah, these are some big rolls, and you know, when you win the roll, it just goes to show that your team has practiced rolling that day.
That's the important thing.
Just that little bit harder.
If you win the roll, you're 3 point right there, straight up.
It's a bit of a, you know, bit of a mental hit to the other team as well. When you lose the roll, it's like, oh god, what did we do? What did we do wrong?
My perfectly laid plan is all gone. Oh no. God, yeah, it's going to be a speed ban surely from the Czech Republic. You mentioned that, and I agree. If they do anything else, I'm going to be scratching my head a little bit. It just seems so obvious here. But I think Taiwan are more flexible in the sense of they can probably target something they specifically don't want, rather than trying to counterpick the other team, because they do have the versatility advantage, really.
Yeah, when it comes to Taiwan, it definitely seems like they have like just that little bit of an edge. You know, obviously the big strength in double time in comparison, and then you know, they do have that very well-rounded roster for a lot of other things, you know, when it comes to hit and hard rock. But it's safe to say that, you know, Czech Republic can definitely potentially match. And I'd say they have a little bit of an advantage maybe when it comes to some of these more specific mechanics picks, as you mentioned. But we're actually seeing the No Mod 1 ban coming out from Taiwan. So, you know, opting to ban something a little bit more straightforward, and then Czech Republic responding with the double time 1 ban. So, you know, pretty. I would honestly say not too surprising when it comes to these bans. Like, they're very, very safe options here. And now we get to see the picks next.
I think out of all the speed maps, banning the double time 1 is kind of interesting, because that one is more of the straightforward, you know, aim one, D and B. It does have some speed though, but the speed is more prevalent in the other maps in my opinion, but we'll see how that works out. I think No Mod 1 makes sense because it takes out some of those aim players on the Czech team. So that's completely fair enough.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to double time 1, there is another thing worth mentioning, is that it is a little bit higher on the approach rate as well. So maybe if you're not too confident on double time as a whole, like whether it's your team roster is just not feeling too confident, that high AR in conjunction with the bursts and triples as well as the aim element is always something that is worth taking out. But it's always going to be a bit of a coin toss when it comes to feeling uncomfortable in double time as a whole, because it's like, do you struggle with the speed, do you struggle with the reading, do you struggle with the aim, or is it a combination of everything? Because a lot of these maps in the double time pool kind of have like a mixed amount of everything. Like when I look at double time 3, it kind of reminds me of a mix between 1 and 2, but slightly less element, just higher BPM for the burst specifically. Whereas double time 2 is more focused towards its own kind of thing, where it's more burst focused, and then obviously double time 1's a bit more aim focused.
Yeah, a lot of the maps do have different elements they test, not just the main thing. So yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. It looks like Taiwan are definitely going to be going into that speed right off the bat though, so not waiting for that. In the best of 9, it's probably wise. The free mod one is the one they go for though. Quite a spicy map on some of the mods, especially Hard Rock. We've already seen some incredible Hard Rock scores. They really are making a mockery of that. But yeah, this is really hard on Hard Rock.
I mean, we talk up this map to be, obviously the star rating says it's one of the hardest in the pool, and with Hard Rock it just, skyrockets even more. And some of the Hard Rock players have definitely just like shown such dominant performances on this map specifically. I mean, last match we saw such a crazy performance from Romania. It's going to be very, very hard for either of these two teams to top that, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's been surprises and upsets all throughout this tournament and in the past tournaments. So I wouldn't be surprised when it comes to this, but this is definitely a very, very safe option for Taiwan. Rather than going straight into double time, they're opting for something that is a little bit more, they have those options, and this is definitely on the harder side, and forcing those players onto those mods on this map is always going to be brutal. When it comes to forcing a player onto Hard Rock on a speed map, if a team isn't comfortable in double time, this is going to be a bit of a tough one. You have to wonder who's actually going to be tanking the mods here, and whether or not, maybe they put a player who just would struggle regardless of no mod or Hard Rock, or if they're going to put someone who would be a little bit more confident on the map as a whole, but might happen to miss with Hard Rock versus full comboing with no mod, for example.
Well, last week, Taiwan took some overmodding on the similar sort of speed map in free mod, but you can't see that happening here. I imagine it will definitely all safe all the time. Shield on Taiwan might be taking that Hard Rock, although they could put him on the no mod, with him being one of the linchpins in terms of that consistency. They might want him on the no mod just to guarantee that combo. But he's got the ability to probably take Hard Rock and be very capable to give the no mod to someone else. As for the Czech Republic, they're going to be mixing it up a little bit. They have plenty of really good Hard Rock players, but make sure you stick it on someone who can manage the speed on that high OD and difficulty. So, I'm not too sure who'll be taking the Hard Rock on their team. It could be anyone. It could be Vilaz. Pogger CZ might, but I have a feeling it's going to be no mod for him. Oh no, he's taking the hidden. Wait, 2 hiddens on the Czech Republic.
Damn. We're seeing the overmod coming in from Czech Republic here. I mean, I guess it could just be a comfort thing, perhaps. The AR is fairly comfortable for a map like this. It is 9.7 on 225, so hidden doesn't actually make it too bad. But definitely some room for error on some of those repeating buzz sliders and whatnot throughout the later sections of the map. That kind of thing can definitely catch you up on hidden for sure. But Villas is going to be the one to take Hard Rock for the Czech Republic, and we are seeing Dazzle win with hidden on the Taiwanese side, as well as Zane going for Hard Rock here. So a few players opting for a little bit more of the, safer mods, as expected with a map like this. But we're going to get right into it. Shield getting the first break for the Taiwanese side. It's very much early days, so a miss like that can just, be easing yourself into the map kind of thing. Could just be the nervous miss.
True. Really early days. This map's quite long as well, or at least got a decent amount of length to it. The misses are traded, Orby with the miss on that hidden. It's all very even early on here. Not anymore. Orby with another miss. Hands it over to Taiwan now.
Villa's getting a break on that long burst as well there. The Hard Rock having a bit of an accuracy tank, unfortunately. It seems like accuracy is a little bit of a struggle for the Czech Republic side, but they are still holding on to 2 of those combos. Another reset from Villa's coming in. You've got pretty much 3 full combos from the Taiwanese side, with Shield building back that supporting combo from the beginning. But the accuracy advantage on the Taiwanese side is huge here.
That's going to be the issue when it comes to the speed for the Czech Republic here. They lack that comfort on the speed, and it's showing here. As long as they don't miss, it's fine.
OWC is definitely one of the star players to look out for on the Czech Republic, and it is definitely showing right now. Still the only full combo remaining for the Czech Republic, pretty much the only hope that they have. We did see Ryza have a break, but it's pretty much all up to whether or not Zane and Dazzlewind find a miss throughout this map for the Czech Republic to have any sort of chance of a comeback here.
It's kind of odd how the mod players are the ones that are holding on for Taiwan. Zane still with that Hard Rock FC, again making this map not look nearly as hard as it is on Hard Rock. Some of the Hard Rock players have been insane this round.
That's definitely the beauty when it comes to free mod. You know, you have the ability to show off those like players who are pretty much just dominant on Hard Rock only. You know, when you're forced to fill up an entire roster of Hard Rock players, it can be a completely different story besides putting that one star player who's always very, very strong and solid on it as a whole. But as I do say that, Zane does happen to find a break in the end. So that is a big combo drop for them, but they do have a lot of supporting combos. Shield did happen to drop there as well, Orby with another reset. Ryza finds a reset, but Dazzlewind is still holding on, and PogCZ does happen to break, so it's pretty much going to be all in Taiwan's favor at this point. We've got Dazzlewind just running away with that hidden full combo at the moment.
A chance to make this a really nice chunky win here for Taiwan. It's all but theirs now though. The speed pick right off the bat working out really well. The accuracy say a story here for the Czechs. But Taiwan looking rock solid on those accuracies on all 4 of them. Oh, that slow slider though! Oh my gosh. How many breaks was that? 6?
Yeah, slow slider claims a lot of lives there, unfortunately. Ooh, lots of chain misses happening at the end here. I mean, this section is brutal. We saw Romania absolutely dominate this at the end of the last match, but man, this looked very different on across the board when it comes to these 2 teams. It was just the map difficulty spike at the end there. It really shows, you know.
You see, what we just saw there is how the ending is supposed to go.
Yeah, exactly. how it's supposed to go. How it's really played.
Yeah. Dazzlewind holding on to his S rank though. Very well played. Top score in this one. And in the end, a comfortable win there for Taiwan. Straight into the speed, paying out dividends.
Yeah, definitely a very tactical pick from them for sure. You know, going for that strong pick first. They still have a lot of the double time roster to work with as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what Czech Republic go for. And they're actually going for cheat reel here, which is, you know, it's the pretty much aim consistency pick. You have a long length Hard Rock, which has some relatively intense sections for a long duration. This is pretty much just, you know, consistency check to see if you can hold combo on a lot of the long time jumps. And, you know, we've seen this map for many, many years, and it's just the fact that it's been around for so long. And this is always, as Azo and I were talking about earlier in the cast, this is just a reminder to see how far players really have come. Like we've seen this map in final stages as a no-mod pick, and now here we're seeing it as a hard rock pick in round of 16, and it's being considered one of the easier maps in the pool, you know?
Yeah, the raw aim aspects plus that AR-10, it's at this point, it's a comfort pick for so many players that play in this tournament. But it does show how crazy players have gotten in the mechanics department, but this is considered a very comfy map. It does have that old aim style, so it's a little bit different from your usual jump map these days, but it's in a comfortable style, and you have seen some good performances on it. It is very consistent in difficulty though, you mentioned it. It doesn't really have much of a break point. Once the jumps get going, they're pretty much intense the whole way until they stop. So there is the case of, it's not really a spiky map. You just have to be consistent on this high-end mechanic style. And people have shown they can do it.
Absolutely. And when it comes to this map as well, you know, I would definitely say that length is the difficulty here. You know, it's pretty much an endurance factor when it comes to these aim sections. You just have such a long aim section, and sure, there's a couple of slower sections and whatnot in between that, or a few breaks here and there. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty much, once it gets into it, it just doesn't let up for such a long duration. Especially towards the end, you have like that full 1 minute duration or so of just non-stop jumps back to back, and that's commonly where we see a lot of these misses kick in. You know, as players start to either get a little bit tired throughout the map, or just in general, you know, random misses occurring and whatnot. This is 4 minutes after all of just pure hard rock aim, pretty much, with a couple of like bursts and triples here and there.
That's the name of the game here. There is one thing to mention about the Czech Republic team going into this. Evident in here for the hard rock pick. He wasn't here last week, and he's one of the players that played a lot of maps in the qualifiers. But he wasn't here in the previous match. I mean, given they were against Germany, might not change the result, but either way, as a core member that they have back here, so they are stronger than they were last week. Now he's available.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see, you know, like sometimes there's just going to be players who just can't make it to some matches, but when they're able to show up and you actually see them come in for these maps, it's always a really nice sign. You're feeling a lot more confident, you've got all the boys on.
Just got Riser with the early miss. Pretty much the only, well, this, and then there's a small part near the end of a break point. Apart from that, it's pretty much rock solid on those jumps, so early miss is going to sting now, but another one for Pocket CZ though, so it's handed back over to Taiwan going into it.
Yeah, that felt like a bit of a random spot to be missing there. Could just be like nerves and adjustment or something like that, but overall, you know, this part starts to ramp up a bit, and it's definitely possible to just randomly miss on this kind of thing. But we're getting into one of the harder sections. Zane does happen to find a break here, getting into this repeating slider. Are we going to see a break? Oh, MMVP does happen to drop there. That buzz slider just claiming the life there.
It's still slightly with Taiwan now as we get into the real spicy bit. It really is now 2 FCs to 1 in favour of Taiwan.
Breaks just happening all over the place at the moment. We are getting into one of the tougher sections, you know, a lot more endurance involved in these aim patterns. Evident is holding on strong. Rise is pretty much the only one chain missing for the Taiwanese side, but we're seeing chain misses occurring all over the board for the Czech Republic at the moment. Zane is slowly but surely building up a supporting combo for Dazzle Wind and Shield, but they are looking to run away with this. They're at the halfway point, and they are looking pretty much very comfortable here.
Yeah, nice little bit of free combo as well to rack up that multiplier a little bit. Still plenty of the map to go, but Taiwan really have everything at this point. Shielded the break on that build-up, though. That's going to close things a little bit.
That is a very, very big break on the Taiwanese side there. Dazzle is still holding on strong, and Zane is making quite the recovery. You do see a few players from the Czech Republic managing to build a little bit of a combo, but resets are possible. Evident does happen to find that break, though, and it looks like that is going to be the nail in the coffin as we do approach the three-quarter section, and there's no real major combo advantage at all for the Czech Republic. You know, you've got Dazzle Wind still just going strong with that full combo. Zane building up that supporting combo. Taiwan is just looking so strong here.
Tell by the accuracy is really on many of the players. It's a case of consistency, especially on Team Taiwan. I'll shout out to GM FMRT, another one of the OGs, not on the team this year. Fair play, Dazzlewind. Nice FC as well. Good start here from Dazzlewind in this match. It's looking like it's going to backfire a little bit, Kano. This hasn't worked out at all for the Czech Republic. They're just struggling on this consistency. Taiwan looking much stronger on this.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the riskier picks, you know. At the end of the day, these types of maps can be a bit of a coin flip when it comes to the aim mechanic test, but it's really hard to say, like, you know, when you're in a situation like the Czech Republic are, it's like, what do you really pick? I mean, it's definitely one that I could expect some very solid results from, but in the tournament setting, it's always a different experience, you know. There's like that chance that tournament nerves might just be getting to you that little bit extra, but Dazzlewind does end up getting the full combo on that one right at the end. holding on to a solid 99.13. Very impressive performance. Evident managing to build that big combo for the Czech Republic, and obviously Taiwanese just having those slightly higher supporting combos overall across the board. A few combo resets happening for the Czech Republic, just not looking too good for them, unfortunately.
The miscounts are fairly low, but the overall consistency on this just wasn't there for the Czech Republic. Didn't work out at all, and Dazzlewind, he's on a bit of a streak now. So far so good here for Taiwan. Next pick goes to them as well. Are we going to see some more speed abuse? Is that the question here?
Yeah, it's safe to say that Double Time is probably the next place that Taiwan is likely to visit. But anything is possible, you know, maybe they want to try out something a little bit different and just see, you know, if they can pick something that they feel like Czech Republic might want to pick in the future. But since they are 2-0 up, I definitely think it's important for them to go for those much more comfort picks. And we are going to be seeing the Double Time 2 coming out.
The Senya Satellite. The classic. This one much more in terms of the raw stamina aspect than the last map they picked. They're definitely pushing much more into that sort of skill set, and I think that's going to work out well for them. A few maps in though, some players might be a bit more warm than the Czech Republic to deal with a map like this that's pretty much all tapping. We'll soon see.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the more interesting ones for sure. I think obviously after what we witnessed on Free Mod 2, it's possible that Taiwan has that slight advantage here. But anything is possible, you know, when it comes to Double Time. This map is pretty straightforward. If you are a player who's capable of playing this BPM and this tapping style, like, you're not really going to have too much trouble. I'd say only accuracy might be a problem. So if there's a chance that we can see some combo gaming going on, I expect, you know, a potentially close result between these two.
The combo game is always possible, especially on something like this. You can get away with a bit of combo even if you have to mash through some of these streams because of the way the spacing is quite low. In the last map, Evident actually had the top score for the Czech Republic, and he's another one that normally comes in for these DT picks. That's again another little bit of power for their DT roster they didn't have last week. You still feel they're going to be the underdogs in this sort of map in particular.
Yeah, you got to wonder where this one's going to go. But I mean, Taiwan just picking it straight up. You know, they're feeling confident after that performance on Free Mod 2 specifically. So I think overall they're going into this one with confidence. But as I say that, Zane does happen to find an early miss. Bit of a random one. Could just, you know, obviously be a bit of a readjustment. But it's always good to get that nerve miss out the way, you know.
Oh yeah.
Bit of an unexpected miss from OWC at there. This is definitely one of the more star players that you look out for on some of these double time picks. Performed really, really well last week, specifically on a lot of the double times that we saw.
I think he had some issues with the streaming because of accuracy right down, but he seems to be recovering. His team is holding well so far. Ooh, that slip from Evident though. 2 FCs to 4 now in favour of Taiwan.
Taiwan definitely looking like the dominating force here right now, especially when you look at the accuracy across their board. You know, a lot of high 99s coming in. High 98, low 99s.
These guys can speed, though. These guys are fast. No problems at all. And with this, you know, they see at the break how far ahead they are. I imagine they're getting much more comfortable now seeing that. Oh, and they will be now. There goes MNB. The only FC left is Villas. He's on his own against 4 Taiwanese full combos. Not looking good. This is speed abuse at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Taiwan are going off.
Yeah, this is the dominant force of Taiwan on double time right now. They are just looking so strong. You know, 3/4 of the way through, and look at their accuracies and their combos right now. This is just dominance right here. You've got Villas doing all that they can along with OWC, you know, recovering that combo despite the early misses, but you know, the accuracy difference is just so huge here. And they are just running away. This is a 4.2 mil score so far, and we're not even done with the map yet, Dooms.
This is honestly a ridiculous score from Taiwan. 4-way full combo. What a play against anyone. But what an absolute... Oh no, it's the 3-way. Zane with the miss at the start, of course.
we had that miss from Zane right at the beginning. You know, it would have been a 4-way full combo, but I mean, it's basically there, you know. Look, that combined team score, that's enough to call it a 4-way FC. We'll just pretend like that miss didn't happen and we'll just wipe it off the board, alright?
Yeah, it's close enough. We'll give him that. It was like in the first 7 combo. What a play from Taiwan. That was insane.
Yeah, that is such a dominant performance from them. Definitely, like, if I were any other team looking at Taiwan right now and having to face them in the future, potentially, you know, that is a force to be reckoned with right there. You're going to find a lot of teams struggling to put up that kind of performance on that map. But now the question is, where do we go for Czech Republic? What is the next pick?
If they want to go for all of the one picks, those jump picks, well, the only one left is... there's one in free mod, actually. There's 2. There's one in hidden, I guess, in Radiate, and then there is the one in free mod as well, the MC Sniper. If I had to pick one of them, it'd probably be the free mod one. But I guess not. Never mind. No, it won't. Radiate time. So I enter Shikari. Ooh, this is a cool pick, honestly. Like, when I was looking at the pool, I just thought this was a really cool pick for a hidden aim map because it's super awkward and super snappy. So it really pushes you when it comes to that hidden aim. Quite an awkward one, but it is definitely aim, and that's what you should go for, really.
Yeah, going for that aim mechanic test once again. I mean, obviously this one's a little bit more tricky. You see a lot of like those really wide jumps and awkward patterns coming in, and then you've got the of course, like, you know, the long fast sliders that kind of just like force you to, you know, have controlled movements for a little bit and then snap to another direction. It's going to be interesting to see how this one does pan out. It's definitely one of the longer maps as well, so we have yet another situation with length being the difficulty here, and it's going to be very interesting to see which way this goes, because there's just a lot of potential for misses on this map throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, it's a nasty one just through the, you know, the way the patterns are and that length. Sure, about a minute of that is like slow part though, but still, it's something you got to play, you know, consider. I think both of these two teams had some issues when it came to the consistency on the last hidden one. Different sort of map, but still similar things being tested here. So this one should be, well, I have a feeling it might be a little bit scrappy, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we saw pretty much what was a 4-way full combo on the last map. I would be very surprised if we see anything remotely close to that on a map like this. This is probably going to end up a lot more like what we saw in Cheat Reel, with a few random misses occurring all over the place. And yeah, this map is just brutal in general. Like, the hidden definitely adds a layer of difficulty that is just really evil in general. Like, the sliders towards the end, as I mentioned, they are just so brutal for this type of map. Obviously, if you're someone who's well versed in hidden, you're going to have a really, you know, good time. But for people who are not so confident in hidden, which, you know, I believe in this match might be the case for some of them, you've got some players who can definitely play hidden, but probably very specific types of hidden. So when you got those players coming in and feeling for a mod that they're maybe not feeling too confident on, it's always just going to be a tough time on a map like this.
I think it should be a fun one to watch for sure, though. We'll see how it works out. Could be a pocket pick for Czech Republic here. But yeah, this sort of map, yeah, one or two FCs would be pretty damn good, I'd say. We'll see how it plays out.
Getting into it early, we do see an early miss coming from Evident, following up with another one. Having a little bit of trouble adjusting to this one by the looks of things. Orbi also having that miss. Orbi is one of the more staple hidden players as well for the Czech Republic. So, I mean, when you see a player like that missing on something like this, it kind of speaks volumes of the actual difficulty that this map does have on hidden.
Which noticed as well, there's no Pogacy Z. He's subbed himself out for this. That's interesting. He tends to play pretty much everything, but Not this one.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'm impressed that... Nah, go on, Zoe.
I was going to say, could just be a case of maybe not feeling it on the day, or perhaps, you know, just wanting to give other players a shot at it. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of misses happening randomly across the board for the Czech Republic. So far, Taiwan looking quite strong on this. LeBron James is the only one holding on still for Czech Republic. Dazzlewind just happened to find a break there. That's going to be the first one of Taiwan. Flask also dropping as well. Evident with another reset. And it's all happening, Dooms.
It's working out as we thought, just absolute chaos. I'm honestly impressed Taiwan held 4-way FC for as long as they did. Now it's only 1 FC on Spines Knight. I think we're approaching the slow part now, so Spines Knight can start running away with that multiplayer now. So it can all be a little bit... The ending is a little bit harder than that first part, once we get back into the tough stuff.
Yeah, the Czech Republic definitely need a bit of a miracle here. You know, they need to hold on through one of these tougher sections coming up, and they need to hope that Spines Knight does actually happen to drop, as well as the other players from Taiwan having combo resets. So it's pretty much... it's not looking too good for them at the moment, and we are in a bit of a slower section right before the next big build-up. But anything is possible. I mean, we've already seen so many random misses occur on this map, and it's only going to get harder from this point.
It's not decided yet, especially because, of course, once we get into that harder part, everyone's going to have a bit of combo to the name. Oh, shielded the break on the slow part. This is his build-up. Here we go. Spines Knight has to hold to guarantee this, but if he does, it's all but decided.
The score is very interesting right now. You know, it's like it's slowly, very slowly pulling its way back to the Czech Republic. They do have that slight combo advantage, but NMB happening to drop there is going to even things out a little bit and make it go more towards Taiwan's favor. Spines Knight is doing work right now. Dazzlewind building up that supporting combo, but you've still got 3 really big combos from the Czech Republic. We're approaching the 3-quarter mark, and it does look like things might not really turn at this point. We're getting pretty late into the map at the point where the score doesn't really change much, but Evident and Orbi dropping is going to seal the deal.
That's the show. That is the show. 4-way reset now for the Czech Republic. It's all over, but guess what? Spines Knight still hasn't missed. Dazzlewind's FC'd that whole section so far, I think. Yeah, it's like Taiwan just have the edge on the consistency again. Like I say, like Cheat Reel, you mentioned it. Very similar sort of thing, just they got a bit more consistency when it comes to this aim, and that is not good for the Czech Republic, who really, that's what they needed to go into. It's not working.
Czech Republic are pretty much relying on these consistency, you know, mechanics picks, and unfortunately they are backfiring just that little bit. You know, Taiwan having the slight advantage here, getting about a 600 to 700k lead. Spines Knight just doing work for this one though. Absolutely impressive performance. I don't want to jinx anything just yet, of course. We're at the end. Despite it being a slow section, anything is possible.
Oh my god, if he breaks here, okay, no mate. Oh no. There's like nothing to break on here.
Probably be the worst possible, you know, commentator curse of a lifetime.
I actually feel bad if we cursed him here. Oh my gosh. Okay, he's fine.
And I was going to say, and it's done. He's not going to miss on the spinner, but Spines Knight does happen to full combo that one, being pretty much the driving force for Taiwan there on that map. I mean, obviously you saw a lot of chain misses happening all across the board from both sides. It did look very hopeful for Czech Republic towards the middle section. You know, you had that middle to 3-quarter section where they were building up some supporting combos, but unfortunately you saw all of those combos pretty much drop right at the same time, and despite that, Spines Knight was still holding there long enough to secure Taiwan the victory on that one. But right now, things are not looking good for Czech Republic. It is Taiwan's pick after all, and they still have a double time open as well. So are we going to see DT3 being picked here straight away by Taiwan, or are they going to opt for something a little bit different?
Well, at this point, they have all the aces. I mean, if they want to go for the best way to lock this out, yeah, absolutely, go into that speed. There is a particular map floating around, though, mapped by a particular Taiwanese player, and they're not going to pick it. No, they're just going to pick speed. Okay, they're just going to pick speed. Fair enough. I was hoping, I was hoping they'd go into Taiko time, but nope.
No Taiko time, only double time. Taiko time definitely would have been an amazing experience for sure, but no Taiko time, only double time. We go into speed once again. Taiwan looking to close this one out. No fun allowed, Dooms. All right, no fun allowed here.
It's almost like they're trying to win the match. I mean, fair enough. Go into that speed, and this definitely is speed. It's the fastest map in the pool, basically. It is a pretty standard DT map, though, but it is full of constant bursts at just over 260 BPM. Lots of bursts into bursts, so yeah, it's quite tricky, and we'll see how warm the Czech Republic are here. But this is pointing towards another really good Taiwanese pick.
Yeah, we have to. I'm curious to see if we're going to see another 4 million score across their board for this one. I mean, after that last performance, they were just looking so dominant and really looking to take this one away with this pick. As I mentioned before, this is pretty much a similar map. To me, this map kind of reminds me of a combination between Double Time 1 and Double Time 2, except obviously, less bursts, a slightly lower BPM than Double Time 1. But with that said, the aim is also not as intensive. There's definitely room for misses on a lot of these, short snap patterns. We've got a couple of flow sections and whatnot as well. But a lot of this is going to come down to pretty much a speed check, and accuracy is definitely going to be a huge factor as well. I mean, obviously, Czech Republic are pretty much relying on combo gaming when it comes to these types of maps, I believe. You've got a few players who can hold their accuracy pretty well, but overall, it just does seem like they have been struggling in the accuracy department for maps like these. Whereas Taiwan, definitely just, you're going to be relying on having random misses occurring. And speaking of which, we do see one drop from Zane, as well as having a drop from Evident and NMB at the beginning of this map.
Allows the break. 1 FC to 3 in favour of Taiwan, so early doors, Taiwan looking good on the speed again. Accuracy is down for the Czech Republic. They're struggling. The last FC is gone. There goes Pog CZ. 3 FCs to nothing. And it's not looking good here for the Czech Republic.
Yeah, this is definitely not the way that they want to be going out, and unfortunately, it's on a pick that they don't really have much choice in. And with combo, not a single full combo from their side versus 3 from the Taiwanese side, things are looking pretty grim. We are at the halfway point already, and they are just pretty much running away. Shirasora does happen to find a break in the end for the Taiwanese side, but still Willie and Rise are holding on. Evident has managed to make a bit of a recovery, but seeing a few combo resets coming in from Villas, PogaCZ, and Shirasora, it doesn't look like there's any chance for the Czech Republic to make a comeback. And Taiwan is pretty much just going to be running away with this one on yet another dominating double time performance from them.
That's what they do, and especially what they can do here in this matchup. They've played this game to perfection, Taiwan. I mean, seeing Taiwan go out in this round would have been a humongous shock, but Taiwan have left no doubt. Brilliant game played by them here.
We talked about the surprise from them being in the loser bracket here. This is a dominant team, and they are showing up right here, right now, with these double time performances. Very, very high combos, as well as that 4 mil score that we saw in the previous double time. Looking like it's going to be pretty much the similar result almost here. 3.8 mil. Czech Republic, unfortunately, just having all sorts of combo resets happening across the board and just struggling a little bit in the accuracy department. But Taiwan are going to be taking that one 5-0. Looking very, very dominant.
That's nice recovery after dropping down into the losers bracket. Taiwan, a big win to reset their campaign. Unfortunately for the Czech Republic, it just didn't work out here. Some good scores on their side, though. Evident, Orbi, Vilaz putting in some nice performances, but not going to be today. Taiwan came to play, and that's what they did. And they're going to move on.